Hello, my name is Jason, and I'm happy to share my project called Hongyan. My project began with the problem of dementia, as there are over 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's. This number will reach nearly 13 million by the year 2050. Also, this disease is one of the most expensive in the United States that has no cure, and it kills one out of every three seniors. Lastly, all baby boomers will be aged 65 years old by 2030, which means that the number of patients will increase significantly. My thesis states that cognitive impairment can affect older adults' daily lives, but the early signs often go unnoticed, increasing the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. Therefore, immersive design can raise awareness and build empathy for dementia caregivers and patients. Dementia is a disease that affects not only the patient but also those who care for them, such as caregivers, families, and friends. This is what distinguishes this disease from others, and people frequently overlook how caregivers are affected. Furthermore, there are many symptoms of dementia, but the most difficult aspect of this disease is memory loss. Patients have a fear that they may lose shared memories and feelings for their loved ones, but caregivers also suffer the agony of seeing their loved ones forget them. Therefore, my subject Hongyan, which translates to Red Thread of Fate, will convey to visitors that their relationship will remain connected as long as their loved ones remember them. It is a Korean belief that an invisible red thread connects those who are destined to meet, regardless of time, place, or circumstance. The thread may stretch or tangle, but it will never break. This will be utilized as a metaphor and interpretive device throughout the exhibition to create a narrative for visitors. Throughout the exhibitions, the visitors will experience a dual first-person narrative to illustrate the reality of suffering for both dementia patients and their caregivers using an empathetic design called Being Lost in My Own Home. I have three big target audience. The primary target audience is family caregivers of people with Alzheimer's and dementia. The second one is people who have a fear of suffering from Alzheimer's and look to prevent the disease. And the last one is people who are currently suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia. The Berkeley Museum is the venue for this project, which aims to bring people together through art and experiences. In addition, the Berkeley Museum neighborhood contains mixed income families. As previously stated, dementia is one of the most expensive diseases that can certainly benefit residents near the Berkeley Museum. I have two big clients for this project. The first one is Alzheimer's Foundation of America, which is known for Alzheimer's, and they provide support and services who are affected by Alzheimer's disease. The second client is National Science Foundation, which is to support for science and engineering education. This is my goals. My biggest goal for this project is to build shared empathy, to raise awareness for caregivers and who do suffer from disease. This is my concept diagram. As you can see, I have 8 different concepts. Starting with Hongyan, this is an area where the visitors will learn about the Hongyan belief. Stage 1, 2, 3 are the progress of the disease, and the visitors will learn about what people with dementia suffer at these different stages. The remembered, faded, forgotten are caregivers' perspective. The visitors will learn about what caregivers suffer at these stages. Lastly, Still With You is an area where people will learn about caregivers and their patients' shared memories and feelings. Moving on to the content outline, as I previously mentioned, having an empathetic design called Being Lost in My Own Home. All of these concepts will have different rooms of home. Stage 1 and the Remembered will have kitchen with evocative experience. And the stage 2 and the Faded will have living room with person-oriented experience. The stage 3 and the Forgotten will have bedroom with physical experience. And lastly, Still With You will have a courtyard with brain training. And this is the concept for a plan. For space circulation, as soon as the visitors enter the space, they will start with Hongyeon experience and they will directly move to stage 1 and the remembered, and they will go to stage 2 and the faded, and they will also move on to the stage 3 and the forgotten. And then lastly, they will go to Still With You, which is right in the center of the space, and they will exit where they came from. Moving on to branding. So the color, typeface, and pattern and spatial were carefully chosen for people with dementia. For example, I choose Akumen variable concept for typeface. Throughout my research, I learned that Akumen is the perfect typeface for people with dementia because it's sans serif typeface that is intended for a balanced and rational quality, which means that people with dementia will read easier and faster and memorize longer with this typeface. Moving on to the color. Also, based on my research, I learned that red, black, and blue are the colors that people with dementia see things faster, easier, and memorize longer. Having a concept of red thread, the red will be my primary color, and beige and black will be used to create the contrast of red. This is the graphic look and feel. There will be two different graphics for caregivers and patients. The left one represents caregivers and the right one represents the patient. Also, there will be three graphic rules, which are grid system, green background, and visual motive. For visual motive, the circles represent knots, and the lines between those circles represent a thread. The circle is a reflection of frustration. As the stage progresses, the circle will be added. There will be 8 different types of visual motifs that represent each stages and contents. And this is my final logo. Moving on to experience. This is the very first thing that visitors will see when they enter the exhibition. It is an intro wall where people will learn about introduction of Hongyan exhibition. This is the Hongyan area. The visitors will learn about the Hongyan belief. And also they will learn about the color system that will help them to assist the experiences. So when the visitors see the red, they know that's for caregivers. And when they see white, they know that it's for people with dementia. This is the memory book kiosk, which will be also placed in every stages for people to answer. In the end, they will have a final memory book printed for them to take with them. In order to start this experience, they have to answer the question, who is your Hongyan? Then they will pick up on a bracelet with their answer printed and the QR code. This bracelet will help them to unlock memory book questions throughout the experience. And this is the entry right after Hongyan experience. And this is another entry right before stage 1 experience starts. And here people will learn about the concept of being lost in my own home. This is the overview of the remembered and stage 1. As I mentioned before, the red represent the caregivers and the white and the wood represent people with dementia. At stage 1, this is stage where people with dementia misplace object All of the objects you see here are donated from the patient and they're misplaced. The visitors will go through what objects are misplaced. For example, the shoes are on the shelves, the books are in the fridge, and the milk is in the microwave. The visitors will learn about the patient's stories through a given brochure and app by using numbers labeled next to the object. This is the graphic content for the patient, and the visitors can learn more about the symptoms at this stage. This is caregiver's perspective where the objects are correctly placed. All of these objects are also donated from the caregivers, and the visitors will learn about what they suffer at this stage through a given brochure or app. This is the graphic content for caregivers, and the visitor can learn more about the types of help that caregivers can receive at this stage. This is the another memory book kiosk that I mentioned earlier. People will answer the question, what object reminds of you of your Hongyan? This is the overview of the stage 2 and the faded. This is stage 2. This is the stage where people with dementia do repetitive behaviors. The visitors will experience what the patient suffered in the living room using first-person simulation video. Also, while this simulation goes on, the phone next to the couch will ring every minute to ask repetitive questions to the visitors. Where are you? Where's my coffee? To make the visitor understand the frustration that patients suffer. And the faded. This is the caregiver's perspective with audio donated from caregivers. The visitors will learn about what they suffer at this stage. And this is the graphic contents for stage 2 and the faded. This is the launch before they enter stage 3 experience. Due to the overwhelming contents of stage 3, it will be an optional experience. Whoever wants to do stage 3 experience, they can wait here in the lounge for their turn. The staff will carefully help them to assist. And this is the another view of lounge. At stage 3, this is a stage where the patient loses all senses. Therefore, using the given kit, the visitor's senses will be blocked to understand what they suffer. The kit contains headphones, sunglasses, and gloves. After putting them on, the staff will instruct them to do different daily task activities. First one is to find the water bottle and the cup and fill the cup halfway with water. And second, look for pills in the pill box. And they will assign 2 pills to each day from Monday to Friday. By doing all these different activities, the visitors will understand what the patients suffer at this stage. Lastly, this is the caregiver's perspective with photographs donated from caregivers. The visitors will learn about what they suffer at this stage. They can also take photos of themselves in the photo booth and hang on the shelf and share with the other visitors. And lastly, this is the Still With You. This is an area where people can finally pick up their final version of printed memory book and they share with their caregivers or patients or their friends. And also they can learn about brain training that they can do daily base. And also they will be Alzheimer and the caregivers organization here that people can get some help from the organizations. And this is another view of Still With You. Moving on to graphic system. This is the museum banner. And this is another wayfinding on the wall and poster on the street. And this is the extended experience. It's called Record Your Memory. It's after the exhibition, people can download this app and people can upload their stories, and also they can find out the other visitor stories as well, and to create a small community for caregivers. And this is museum ticket, and this is the graphic family. Thank you.